again. I wanted to talk more about the personality types. I got this one YouTube I just did talking about it, and there's a few things I wanted to go over with that I didn't mention in the first one. First of all, this is the personality types I'm talking about is the Briggs and Myers personality types. And the book is Please Understand Me. And I showed the book in the first video. And this is a test to show your personality types, which one you are. And there's 4 basic personality types. And each one of those 4 have 4 variables, which makes 16 personality types. But I just go over the basics. I just use the basics. I don't really go into the details about the variables for each one of those 4. I just use the 4 basic ones. And I compare those and associate those to the 4 suits of the tarot. And it works out very well. I used to do it in my class to show what you are as a student, as far as the type you are. But it took up too much time in the class, so I don't do that anymore. But it's easy to find out what you are. You can they have it all over the internet. And you can buy the book if you want. I'm sure there's a lot of information about it out there. But the 4 types are the Guardian, and the letters are SJ for a Guardian. SP is an Artisan. An NF is an Idealist. And an NT is a Rational. So Guardian, Artisan, Idealist, Rational. And basically anybody's one of those 3, one of those 4. And this helps you when you're doing readings, because anything you got for a tool is good. And a reading's very intuitive and very insightful. But the more you have to build on when you start a reading, the better off I think you are. And I mean, it's good to be intuitive and use intuition in your readings. But I like to have a solid foundation to build that intuition on. And I think that's helpful. It's really helpful when you're trying to get intuitive on something, to have a solid foundation to build something intuitively on. It helps, I think, a lot. So in other words, you set it up you structure it where, okay, I have something solid here. Now I want to get intuitive. Hunches here. How do I feel about this solid foundation, about this thing? And it could help you. And what knowing these 4 basic personality types, I think, really help you with is, as you're talking to a client about somebody, you could sort of, if you have the basics about each one of those 4 types and what they're like, what they're about, you could sort of put in your head, well, this person sounds like an artisan, or this person sounds like a guardian, or whatever it happens to be, from what this person is telling you about them. You could also find out what the client's about by the way the client's speaking to you, describing things to you. That this person's a guardian, or this person's an idealist, or whatever. You can tell by the way they're talking, and the things that they're going through and they're trying to accomplish right now. You could tell a lot about them and their personality types. And after a while, you just sort of know. You don't have to think about it. I'm dealing with a guardian here. I'm dealing with an idealist here. You can just tell. You know that they don't have to take the test for you to know what they are. And I think that comes in handy as far as giving you some insight as far as who you're talking with. So knowing those 4 types, I think, really helps a lot. Also knowing what type of person these four types look for as far as a relationship helps too. A lot of the readings we're doing is based on relationship. We're dealing with relationship. The Guardian, the Pentacles, I have it as the Guardian as the Pentacles. And the Guardian looks for a helpmate. Somebody who wants to get involved with the things that they want to be involved with, interested in what they want and they like, and help and be part of that system with them. Be their helper with this. Part of the team. A companion that's on the same page with them as far as interest in the things that they want to do and the things that they want to accomplish and attain. That's what a Guardian looks for, a helpmate. Or the Artisan, I have as the Wands. The Artisan's looking for a playmate. Somebody that they just want to have fun. They want to have fun with somebody. They want to play. So if they're looking for a playmate. And the Idealist is looking for a soulmate. Something that goes beyond everything, and it's like a spiritual connection with a person. And I have that as the Cups. And I have the Rational, as the Swords, looks for somebody who's on their level intellectually, who they can discuss things with about whatever they're interested in, that this person knows what they're talking about. They're on the same level with them. And they can discuss things on that level. Intellectual equal. And so we're all looking for different things, you know. And I'd also like to say that there isn't one personality better than another. It's just these are the four basic differences between people. And I will say most readers, I would say probably half the readers out there, I wouldn't be surprised if they're NFs or idealists, which is the Cups, suit of Cups. Intuitive feeling. NF represents intuition and feeling, and supposed to stand for intuition. And I'm an NF, and so that's what. And I know from just working with people that I'm dealing with a lot of NFs. But that doesn't mean that if you're not an NF, that you're not as good of a reader. I know great readers that are not NFs. So it's just a trend, I think. It attracts NFs or idealists. Tarot cards attract that type of person. And also a lot of clients are NFs that are attracted to that type of energy. And we'll look for that. So those are trends, you know, that you'll see. But you could tell a person, like I said, it's good to have some basic foundation to build on as you're doing a reading, to start to get intuitive with. You have to have something to be intuitive about. And it's nice to have facts to be intuitive about to begin with. And I think that's helpful. So if I'm dealing with, and to know something about somebody, I can tell if I'm talking with a person and she's describing things with metaphors and very colorful about what she's talking about, with analogies and comparisons, and she's but she thinks that the rules are really important on what she's looking into. They think they have to be followed a certain way, and she's concerned about that. Then I know I'm dealing with an NF, idealist, Cups. If I'm talking to a person who uses a lot of metaphors in their description of what they're talking about, but is looking for new avenues of ways of going about doing things, more than likely I'm talking to an NT or a rational, Swords. if I'm talking with a person who's very blunt, to the point, very descriptive in a precise way, data, information, not metaphors, no beating about around the bush, and thinks that the rules are very important and that the system needs to be followed. I'm talking to a guardian, the Pentacles. And if I'm talking to somebody who is very blunt and very straightforward on things, but would like to bend the rules a little bit, if they can, then I'm probably talking with that artisan, the Wands. This also goes for the people that they're describing in their reading. If they're talking about somebody and you're asking about them, and they're talking about this person, and this person, if they're describing the person's personality in some way, things that they said, or things that they're doing, or what they're interested in, you could sort of visualize what type of personality they are, which can give you more information about what to tell this client. So it could be pretty interesting and pretty informative too. Now I don't know too many other readers. I don't know any other readers that use this system, but and I don't use it. I'm not involved with it. I mean, not a lot. I use it, but I just keep that in mind as I'm doing the readings. You get to know those four personality types, and you can say, well, you can just start to think to yourself, oh, I'm talking, this person's an idealist, or this person's an artisan. And now you have a picture about what type of person this is. And it helps you have something to base your intuitive ideas about this person with. I think that can be helpful. So it's not involved to learn these, and I wouldn't get too involved with learning all 16 type personalities. Just stay to the four basics. As far as the four variables for each basic, I wouldn't bother with those branches. It's not really that important to me as a reader. I don't want to get that involved with it. I guess you could if you wanted to. But I think it would be kind of too confusing to be involved with it that much. But just knowing the four basics can be very helpful. Plus, they coincide very nicely with the four suits of the minor arcana. And to go into it deeper than that, I don't think would really be anything to be helpful with. But it can be helpful. This shows patterns again. So the Briggs and Myers personality types, by the book Please Understand Me by David Kershey, and it's all over the internet. You could take the test on the internet for free and find out what you are, and have fun with that. So anyway, I thought I'd just bring that up and keep throwing cards. We'll talk soon. Bye.